And Frank. Hello, everyone. How's it going?
All's well in Phoenix.
Awesome. Great to hear. Great to hear. We'll get started a little sooner today. I'm not feeling well, but didn't want to cancel. So figured we'd still jump on for like 30 minutes, go through anything that's urgent with anybody that's jumping on here. So yeah, as we're jumping on, we can go ahead and just get started with some chat questions that I had. And then for today's agenda, we'll just keep it conversational till the end. And then depending on if we have time on the end, I'll show some things that we're working on still, but we'll keep the conversations. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, we'll get started here now. One of the first topics that got brought up here by Frank is around an affiliate PDF. So the idea here is that it would have everything in the farming section for you to download for farming out to affiliates. I'm not sure if anyone here is using the current trip PDF, the trip PDF download, but I know that that currently has some information that's not there. I'd be curious what else we'd add to that, but I know Frank mentioned affiliate notes, affiliate pay, and some other notes like the driver notes. So it's one of the features that I know he had requested, and you know, not everybody's farming out, so it might not be a topic that gets a lot of traction here, but figured I'd start that off for Frank. And Frank, we do have that in our feature requests. I know you asked if there's a better workaround. I honestly think the trip PDF is the best you're going to get. I'm thinking out loud. Yeah, like after that, I think it's then just going to have to be, you could copy the trip details. So let me just go ahead and start sharing my screen. We'll jump into Moovs. I'll show a couple of these things now. And thanks for kicking us off, Frank. Share the screen. All right. So here we are on a reservation. And what we can actually do here is download the trip PDF right here. And then let's actually do one for the one that's farmed out. So let's see what we got. So farmed out. Yeah. Oh, this is an older one. It's not gonna work. Okay. Well, I got one right here. Let's open it up. I don't know if it's gonna share because I'm screen sharing, so I'm just do the whole screen. Yeah. So as you said, Frank, yeah, what's not going to be on here is the affiliates farm out related on the regular trip PDF. But what I can try and do is let me go ahead and do this. Let me farm a trip out here. See what we can get. Do I have any externals in my system? Contacts. Yep, John Deere. Yep, vehicles. Yep, for limo. Let's put them in.
Let me guess, their cars are yellow and green.
It's all of the blue ones. So I'm trying to get myself a gray one. go. Now I'm going to try and farm this out to my external operator here. There we go. Add vehicle, affiliate note. Please add water. Yeah, rate. Let's say 200. All right. So now I've farmed it out to my external operator. And now I'm going to download the trip PDF here. So Frank, for external and for the, I believe, regular farm out, you do have some information for the affiliate, like the amount you owe, the driver note, and most everything that I believe you did request here. I think the only thing that's missing here would be our affiliate notes. If I'm looking at this, yeah. And then I think other than that, you should be able to use this for your affiliates as you're farming out, because it even gives you the payable and paids. So if they ever want to see like a completed version of this, you can send this out to them and they can see if you paid and what the amount the balances are. So hopefully this helps, Frank, and thanks for kicking us off.
Hey, Amir, so while we're on farming,
yeah,
I have an affiliate that sends me a text of the ride that he wants me to cover.
Mm-hmm.
I have been just adding them as a regular reservation in my system. And then I'm not sure, you know, how it shows up in the reporting. I can't tell in the dispatch screen whether that is a form in. He just refuses to use GNet or
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to identify a trip as a farm in that is just being entered, you know, off of a text message or an email?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jay. To give you a short answer, in the product today, we don't have a way of marking farm in, but I'm going to show you a workaround, Jay, that might help you. So that's all right.
That's fine.
Cool. So what I would do is you can create companies, and now we have logos and other really exciting things coming soon. But one of the things that you can do is you can create a company here. So let's say I'm just going to make up the gentleman's company's name and call him Alex, you know, Limo Transportation Service. And then you can save the company name. And then what you can do is the gentleman's name that you're working with, right, can then be a contact in your system. So let's say it's Alex at alexlimo.com. You put their phone number. You can add all this stuff later.
Right.
Right. And then now, now I can associate, right? I can make relationships between the company and the contact. So what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll search for that Alex contact who keeps texting you, and I'll save that. So now I've created this relationship between Alex's transportation service, the company, and the contact. And then now when I go to reservations, I can create reservations for Alex, as you'll see here. And Alex will become the booking contact. And you'll see here that will indicate that Alex is associated to that company. So then now any trip I make for Alex, you'll see here.
Yeah, that kind of looks like what I've already done.
Okay. So you've done all that.
Yeah.
Save reservation. And then if you go into dispatch, you know how you can have customization of all the different columns. You can have the booking contact. Yeah, the booking contact is going to be the best thing you're going to have to use for him. Yeah. because there isn't currently, because I just saw it, there's only for affiliate, right? There's no company.
Sure. What I also do is in the trip notes, I put in farm in.
Yep.
So I know that it is.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Hey, Amir, also on the farm in trip from affiliates, if there's a way we can add internal notes or something like that at the bottom so that we can put some notes in there.
Let me just show. Okay, so I mean, is it not this, Joe? One sec. I'm going to show you.
No, when it's farmed in through Moovs, there's no internal notes at the bottom. You can't do anything. The only thing you can do is put notes in the driver section.
Oh, you're saying like for GridNet?
No, I'm talking about just for farm ends. Like if Moovs, if I have a Moovs operator send me a run at the bottom to be able to put write internal notes.
Got it. Okay, that's good.
It was an oversight.
No, it's good. No, it's a good call out. We'll definitely look into that, Joe. Thank you.
Yes.
Cool. Open back up to the floor.
Also, I did talk to an affiliate. I talked to a guy that's using y'all's. He's not using y'all's system, but he's paying y'all monthly. But he's using Limo Anywhere, and I think Luxatius or something like that. I'll have to look it up. But his name's Chris. But anyway, he's using y'all's system, and I mean, he's not using it. He's paying for it. He likes it, but there's a lot of things that he needs fixed. I think he's going to send y'all a list. I talked to him extensively today. He may be on the call today. I don't know, but I told him, to reach out to you, Amir, or Peter. But there's a lot of things. I think one of the main things that he was talking about is like when he puts a reservation in, sometimes he don't want to put an email address in there in order to make that reservation. So if there was an ability to do that, and then also something about the the automated text, which I did tell him he could turn off, but he says, yeah, but if I turn that off, it turns it off to everybody. So then I did explain to him that on the temporary passenger, you do not have to put a cell phone number in there. Therefore, they won't get automated updates. Obviously, you can put the cell phone number in the notes, but that just makes it so we were yakking and thinking maybe there's an option that we can in that turn that automated text off for that particular reservation, not necessarily all of them. So
that's a good
anyway.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing. Yeah.
And then also he was talking about like hourlies, why have to put an end time? Why not just, be able to just leave it open? I understood, and I understood what he was talking about. Then I said, well, it's just an estimate. But yeah, he goes, yeah, but then I got to estimate it. Sometimes, I never know if I'm going to do 3, 4, 10 hours or never. So why not just be able to leave it open ended, and still book an hourly. So
yeah.
Anyway, okay.
It's really good. I'd like to. I wonder if anyone here on the call utilizes or has issues with, changing like trip-based passenger contact text messages, because I'd be curious on what that's related to. I know from what I've heard, the only time, like one big issue for that is like when you're farming in rides. So if you're doing a lot of farm in work and, the affiliate you're working with doesn't want you to be sending automated text to their passengers. But I'd be curious if another situation, the second one I could think of is if high touch individuals as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about. Yeah, high end people that just really don't necessarily care to have their phone ding in every time.
Yep, exactly.
What he was saying. I mean, he's talking about the people that are billionaires and they really don't care to have their phone. So
exactly,
because I use both of them still too.
Limo Anywhere and
correct.
Yeah.
There's certain things like the customer portal that the other company has. I haven't made that, complete switch over to it. Also on the driver pay, instead of just a flat dollar amount, we do percentages of each ride, that type of thing.
Yep.
So, you know, for the reports and bookkeeping aspect of it, that's the reason we haven't completely switched over. Even though we like, you know, all the things that Moovs has and the direction that it's definitely going. But there are some limitations for us to completely move over.
Thanks for sharing, Ed. For the driver payroll percentages, we do have the feature for where you can do percentage of the payout gets automated. Have you seen that?
No, because what I've been doing, our drivers get, of course, all the tips and all the gas allotment that's on it. And then we do a percentage out of the base rate.
Yep. So here it is. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So this might work perfect for you. I know some other operators, a lot of operators always have very different ways of doing things, and we're always trying to solve as many of them as we can, but this could be perfect for you if I'm understanding it correctly. Percentage of base rate for your hourly and one-way trips, and then you can calculate here percentages.
But then I can't split out the, like we charge a fuel fee and then the tips that go to the driver, correct? Or am I missing something?
No, so tips. So if you, for tips and fuel fee, like you would still have to add that to when you're automating the payroll, correct?
Okay. And you know, those are the only little hangups we have. And you know, the company portal, we deal with a lot of companies with a lot of employees.
Yep.
And they like that portal feeling where they can just go in and, you know, do everything they need.
Yep.
So.
Got it. Yeah, the gratuity, by the way, is here. I think if I mentioned that, and then for your fuel, how do you charge the customer
a percentage of the ride for a fuel fee?
And then do you just pass that through to the driver?
Correct.
Got it.
Because where we are, and I'm only speaking for California, I know it's changing everywhere, about having independent contractors and not having independent contractors. So we ran through an LLC, and every driver is a partner.
Yep.
For that.
Exactly. No, it makes sense. And then the way that you have to then pay it is
Correct.
Regulatory.
Correct.
Yep. Correct. Makes sense. Thanks for sharing it. Yeah. Any other points there?
Hi, Amir. I'm fairly new.
Hey,
fairly new user, and have not been able to figure out in the system when I'm making a reservation for a like a multi-vehicle thing, like if it's a wedding and we have 2 or 3 or 4 vehicles committed to that wedding. Is there a way to do that aside from creating a separate reservation for each vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, so it's a great question. The short answer is you can't have multiple vehicles to the same trip, right? So like you can have multiple trips to a reservation, which is something that I believe our system is unique in. So like we have operators that we work with that have like 97 trips in one reservation. And that way it keeps everything organized, manages much easier to manage for customers, for yourself and everybody involved. What we do have in terms of on our roadmap is the ability to eventually have 2 vehicles on the same trip. And I think the one thing just to remember with that, which means that those 2 vehicles and drivers would then have the identical trip details. So I think that's the best way to, like, as long as that's exactly what you're looking for, that's something that will be coming soon. But if you ever needed to like change an address for one of the drivers, you would have to then have separate trips.
Gotcha.
Right. Does that make sense?
Do you think it's advisable then to just create a separate reservation for each vehicle, even if they're all for the same client?
Well, I think what you're probably looking for, which we have, is you can just duplicate trips and then just use a different vehicle down here. So like I just copied a trip right now for the same trip. And then instead of the SUV, I'm going to use the sedan, save, and then save this trip. And then you'll see that it adds right there into the reservation. That's the best way to do it.
And would that allow me to also select a different driver?
That's exactly it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that would work.
Because the thing is, the other one, you might be like, be careful what you wish for, because if we do it once we do it the other way, like if both drivers are assigned to 2 vehicles, which are assigned to 1 trip, like the trip details are identical, right? So then you can't tell one driver to go somewhere else or pick up at a different time. They're going to have to follow the exact same itinerary. So, that's less of an occurrence. Where usually, and that's why, we built this specifically in this way. This is going to be 2 trips, right? But 2 different vehicles with 2 different drivers.
Yeah, I mean, the average wedding is, kind of like a loop situation where we're going between maybe like the Airbnb or the wedding venue and the church or the reception venue or something like that.
Yep. And then what's nice here is that then you have trip 1 is for, let's say, the bride and groom. Trip 2 is the beginning loop from the Airbnb to the venue. And then trip 3 could be from the return trip, depending on how you create your trips for your customer, right? Whether it's one long hourly, right? Like let's say, 1 p.m. to 11 p.m., or you split it into 2 trips, right? Like 1 to 5 p.m. and then let's say 8 to 12 a.m.
Got it.
Yep.
And the way the mirror's telling you, that's actually better for like a wedding coordinator. When you send her that link, she can go to each one of those trips, 1, 2, and 3, and see the difference. And then obviously she see the difference in the vehicle. So she say, oh, that's the limo one, and this is the SUV one, and this is the bus one. So it actually works out better to just do 3 trips in 1 reservation.
Got it.
Yep. And then that's exactly the goal. Thank you, Joe, is just so that now everything for the customer is under 1 reservation, we call it. And that's it's our naming convention. I know in most other softwares, a reservation is only 1 trip, but our reservations can have 100 trips. So like you said, it's gonna click. And then as we can work together to build out the trips and then building it out in a way that makes sense for you. I think the last thing I'll leave you with, especially with weddings, you won't run into this, but for any operator doing large corporate events or corporate recurring billing, is to just be careful for billing that you can't bill, invoice an existing reservation separately. So you'll want to make sure that if you want to build your reservations, be thinking about how you're going to invoice it. Usually, if you're going to be invoicing the whole reservation at once, you're going to be fine. But if you keep adding trips to a reservation that you need to invoice separately, then you'll want to separate that. So that's important to know.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, to this webinar will be a bit shorter, so I do apologize. But I will take some more questions if there are before I jump into some of the exciting things that the team is working on.
Hi, I have a question. I got onboarded with Matthew yesterday, and he was great. But I do have a question about something he went over yesterday that I'm still a little unclear about. I had asked him about whether or not we could track drivers while they were kind of on standby, because a large part of our business is, for all intents and purposes, kind of on demand, like taxi rides. So if someone calls the business and they need something in the next 5 minutes, I need to be able to tell them, sure, but I need to also know where my drivers are to let them know when would be the best time for them to book that, because a lot of our reservations are still coming in on the phone and not necessarily the online platform for those types of rides. He had mentioned that you guys previously had that ability, but but that it was like disabled, or I wasn't quite clear.
Yeah, so it's a current driver application does not actively track the driver when they are not on an active trip. So like the short answer is you can't see a driver, like here's my driver tracking screen, and I've got some drivers that are on the driver app, but because I have no trips and the drivers haven't started their trip, they don't pop up on the screen. We do have on our driver app roadmap the ability for you and your drivers to create that relationship. I think what it just comes down to, what it does come down to is the rules and regulations that you and relationships that you have with your drivers, because obviously, as you know, drivers need to know if they're being tracked, and if that's something that you and your drivers establish. Our platform can do that. It's just a setting that we're going to have to enable for you specifically and your drivers, so that whenever they open up the driver app, they'll go to the top, they'll activate their location, and then you'll get to see them on the map.
Okay, perfect. Because that is that is definitely a stipulation. And that's what they want to. Otherwise, they're missing out on potential rides that are coming in for those on-demand type services.
Okay.
So is that something that I would reach out to Matthew about in our next onboarding session, or who would I, because I don't want to take up much time like here on the webinar, who would I reach out to for that?
No, you're good. What I would recommend is to take a look at our product roadmap that's available through our chat widget here. Through our chat widget, you'll see down here that we have a public roadmap. And this is an example of a feature request that if it's not already on here, through searching driver, I haven't looked at this today, so I would just go into here.
Okay.
And you'll see, like, you'll get to search our features and see where they're at and what's coming soon and where they're at on our product roadmap. And then you can see all the other features that are here that people upvote, right? All of our customers are heavily involved. I know, like, I saw Eric, who was on the call earlier. This is a big, request that he had made that's getting traction and has comments. So what I would recommend is coming and seeing if it's here. And then if it's not, you can request it here. And then someone from the product team will actually contact you in related to this feature request.
Okay, perfect. Great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That's also something I know we're very interested in. Because right now we're paying for another whole service to be able to monitor and dispatch through.
Okay.
So we can see the drivers.
Okay. Do you mind would you mind sharing what that is? Or I could also contact you separately.
We use Webfleet, which is TomTom.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yeah, we talked about that, Ed. Sorry, It's been a while. Yeah. I remember you brought that up when we first chatted. So yeah, okay. Very helpful to know, Ed. And regardless, internally, we will take notes on that as well. Where can a customer leave feedback on my website? I just saw. Okay. So Walker, I just to be clear here, are you on the Moovs website, or are you just in general about your website? Just to be clear. Because on the Moovs website, any operator that's on a Moovs website, we have widgets, and you can add a widget. If it's your site and you want customers to leave feedback, I'd say if you wanted to reach out to someone on the customer support team, we could try and help. We might not support all the different website platforms, but we can try and see if they have widgets, right? So if you're using, let's say, WordPress or, it is a Moovs website. Yeah, perfect. So if it's a Moovs site, I would reach out to us and we can add they have a widget. We can add a widget to where you can get your customers to go to your website to leave reviews. We can add that for you for sure. Does that work? Awesome. Thanks, Walker. Thanks for bringing that up.
One of the things I've used is I have a business profile on Google, Google Maps, and they can always leave comments, reviews, testimonials through Google.
That's what I was gonna recommend to Walker as well. I think the best platform for reviews, and that's how we have it on the Moovs website actually, Jay, is it's an integration into the Google business profile. So if you haven't set that up yet, Walker, I would for sure set that up first, because that's how the Moovs website review system works, given that that's the best platform to build your business. Awesome. Yeah. And as soon as you have that Google business profile, you'll be able to integrate that into the Moovs website and then start getting reviews. And then you can actually see them on the website, on the homepage, or wherever you'd like to put them.
But Amir, we're going to come up with a deal where we could put our Google review link. Okay.
That's on the roadmap. So yeah, one thing you're going to love, Walker, and everyone else who does do reviews, we're going to have an automated text messaging integrated with our automated text messaging for passengers, a link that would then redirect customers to your Google pages for positive reviews. So then your Google profile listing will increase and stay at a high. Marlon brings up his Google business profile has been suspended. Is anyone else having this issue? Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's great to bring it up here. Also bringing it up in our Facebook group. And if anyone here, I'll take a second to shout it out. If you're not on the Moovs Facebook group, make sure you join. It's called Our Movement. And Marlon, has anyone here had this issue about getting their Google business profile suspended? Marlon, if you'd like, you can reach out to me separately. It's been a while, but I, for some reason, have a memory where I helped someone fix that profile due to some sort of email.
I have the same problem, Amir.
Okay, Tom. Yeah, is it just not working? Can you not log in? Because a couple things could be too is like verification. They're very serious about their verification, because what happens is a lot of individuals create fake businesses on Google Maps. And so their verification process is pretty strict. And so it might have something to do with that. But until I take a look at your profiles,
it just says that it's not available for public view for guideline reasons.
Okay. Yeah, it could be something to do with your settings, right? It could be your verification, your business address, right? Like we'd have to take a look together to see if there's some of the details to fix it.
Great.
Yeah, definitely reach out to me, Marlon and Tom and anyone else separately, and I'll be happy to take a look to see what we can do. All right. Any last questions before I jump into, yeah, you're welcome, into what's coming soon? All right.
Yeah,
so
I've got something, Amir. This is Sean.
Go ahead.
Great about
Go ahead, Sean.
So, and I had sent this in a Moovs chat, and I haven't heard back, and it's a little bit of a concern of ours. So, if you put a percentage into the pricing, in this example, it's fuel surcharge.
Mm-hmm.
So what the system is doing is it's calculating that percentage based on the base rate, and then it appears that rather than truncate the dollar amount of that calculation, it's going back and it's re-establishing the percentage so that it aligns with like a rounded dollar amount. So in other words, if I have 8.75% in there, and it comes out to 12.6, 64 cents, 648, it's rounding up to 6.5, and then putting a different percentage. So the biggest issue is it's visible to the client, and a couple clients have brought it up. It's like, why does this always change? Right. So we want to use a percentage. We don't want to use a flat amount. So the logic in that needs to be corrected in the development side, please.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let me escalate that, Sean. Thanks for bringing that up, and I'll make sure someone on the support team and product team bring that up.
Yeah, what it's doing, Amir, like if you put 20% or 8% or whatever, the clients, when they get it, it says 20.001 or whatever. So it always adds like a point to it for some reason. It's never just a clear 20%. It always does 0.001.
Yep. So I'm wondering if like a fix, and again, like I'm not looking at the details right now, Sean or Joe, but what if on the customer side, we just showed the first two digits, right? Like instead of showing the 20.001, right? What if we just showed the 20%? Would that still be wrong, I guess, or would that work?
I think it would work based on the de minimis amount of that difference. My guess is if you tested it, it would probably work, but
well, it used to work like that, Amir, but then all of a sudden sometimes it just comes up with this weird calculation. It just adds that 001. I don't know why, but it used to just show straight 20%. Then lately it's just been doing that weird calculation.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Is it possible maybe to just get rid of the 20% and just show the figure?
Like just not have it there at all?
Yeah.
Well, my concern would be that we want to be transparent as to what the percentage surcharge is, right? Because that's something that they can see with a competitor who might itemize it.
Right.
And it has been changing. It will go up or down. I've had to do the 20.01, then I had to do the 19.98.
Well, and the reason, I went back and ran some numbers and where I was seeing it, and again, I don't know the logic, but it looks like it's rounding. So again, if it depending on what the third from the decimal is on the cents, if it's using rounding logic, if it rounds down, then it goes back and adjusts the percentage accordingly, and if it rounds up, it does the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So I believe, we will relook at this, Sean. Let me follow up with the team again, and then we'll reach out to you before the end of the week.
Thanks.
Yep. Cool. Jumping in here now to some of the features that we're working on. So let me just show everybody one of the newest versions. We're actually releasing this very soon to our new credit cards section in Moovs. So as many of you know, through our Moovs payment solutions, you can save and store credit cards. And we're going to be bringing a new improved design to help you understand the difference between cards, the names on the cards, and then some of the security measures that the Moovs system takes on zip checks and CVC checks. So you can see that here. What you'll also see here is a new section that's going to show you payment activity. And I know this has been brought up a lot. So we've addressed this head on by allowing you to come and click view payment activity to come see all payments that are associated to that credit card for that booking or billing contact. And we're going to be showing you a lot more detailed information around failed payments, risk evaluations, escalated, even blocked payments as well. We're going to be bringing all of that information here to the credit card and then also displaying completed payments as well. So that would look more like.
Amir?
Yeah.
I had a event day before yesterday. I had a fellow that was from Austria paying by Visa. However, his business address was in Austria, and my credit card processing, I put it through my own bank, would not recognize an international zip code or postal code. Will this be an issue with your pay service?
No. We're doing international payments every day.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Good question. So yeah, so this will be coming soon. And then the last thing I want to show you, I want to just quickly make sure I address Marlon. So Marlon, let me just show you, and everyone who's on Moovs websites, our widget that we have for operators on the home page. So let me just load it up.
Now, when you say Moovs website, these are the ones y'all developed for these operators, right?
Yeah, these are all of our Moovs websites that come with the system, that integrate with the system, come with the SEO services, vehicle integrations, and everything. So yeah. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Marlon, I'm gonna show you your site, which looks great.
Thank you.
So here's Marlon's, right? Everyone can see here. He's using our new vehicle widget already. I haven't even released this, Marlon, and you already started to use it. Look at you jumping ahead. And so, yeah, this is Marlon's website that's built on Moovs websites. What you have here in widgets is our Moovs booking widget. So what you can do is you can drag this, say here, I would say. And then what should happen is it'll load, and then all we need to do is resize it. So to resize it, you'll just be able to bring this open. And then now you have an embedded widget there on your homepage like that. Is that what you were referring to, Marlon?
Yes, exactly what I was referring to.
Cool. Yeah, this is a feature that's been requested for external websites. So we built it here first, and it's on our roadmap to release this externally, like this code, where then you don't have to embed, because our current booking tool, you can embed, but it has issues, right? So I don't encourage it. We don't like to go out and say to do it, but customers do it, and that's fine. But there are issues with it, which is why we have to build a new code for specifically embedding. Because as you can see here, Marlon and everyone, it looks a little different, right? It's not just embedding what we have, it's customized. It's a customized version of that.
Got it.
And then what I won't do is I'm not going to publish it. I'll have you go on and do it, or do you want me to publish this?
You can publish it. If anything, we can edit it later on.
Okay, so then let me just make sure one thing on mobile. Let's make sure the mobile's good. There we go. Republish. Cool. So then now that's live, and then yeah, jump in and fix the little details, but now you should be good to go. So if I go to your website, I think I have the cookie version. Oh, there it is. And then I can also, my internet connection is super slow. So this is, we're working on a better rendering for this for slow connection. So that's what causes this speed issue.
Got it.
If you go yeah. And then if we go mobile, yeah, if you want to try it on your device. Let's see. There it is on mobile.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And then here, just to show you what it does real quick, right? If someone just comes, my thing isn't working. Let's go back to desktop. There we go. My browser's messed up. But yeah, what you can do is try it on your end and you'll see the experience go from the booking tool into your, from your website to your booking tool. So cool.
Hey, Amir.
Yes.
Amir, real quick, since I was late getting in on this deal, but hey, and that other gentleman I was talking about in New York that's paying for y'all service but not using it, and of course, other guys that are on the call that use Limo Anywhere. When you farm out a run, you know, it's really cumbersome when we have to go into each company, even if it's a non-affiliate. If it's a non-affiliate, I guess you could say, we have to build a car for that particular affiliate. Is there any way we can just have a generic deal that we can just pick sedan, luxury sedan, luxury SUV, Sprinter, whatever, and then that way, once we farm it out to them, they can just go in and or change it, or even if they don't change it, at least they know what we want. But the thing is when we have to go in and actually build that car for a non-Moovs user, it seems kind of cumbersome. And that was one of his deals too, because he likes Moovs, but he wants to be able to farm out stuff on the fly and not have to go in and build that car or vehicle list for that particular affiliate.
I think the main reason, Joe, that it's just kind of not possible is that the vehicle that you use, your customer is going to see, and every operator has a different perception of what's generic, right? Like you might be doing a Sprinter van party bus. Another gentleman does a party bus that's 30 passengers. Another person does a charter bus party bus. Another person does a sedan. Another person does a Continental. Another person does a Mercedes. But what we have done to make that easier is you have duplicate vehicle, right? So this makes it pretty simple. It's not that much work.
Where's that on? Where's that duplicate vehicle at?
Right. Yeah, right here. And on any vehicle that you've already created, right? You can just go in and just duplicate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing is if he's the argument that he was making is that if he's used Limo Anywhere, we could send to anybody. You know, we could send it and just be done with it. And we don't even have to pick a car. You know, we could put that we could put in the notes that, a sedan, luxury sedan, or whatever, but we don't know what they have, right? And we don't even know the license plate or nothing. We know nothing about what they're going to use other than we want a luxury vehicle, luxury sedan or a luxury SUV. But the thing is when we build something like what you're saying per company, I mean, literally, if you're going to deal with thousands, or no, we don't even say thousands, we'll say 20 affiliates across the United States, we'll just say, but you have to go in and build all this monotonous deal. And of course, I didn't see the duplication part. That's new to me, so I'll use that. But the thing is, you have to build all that up, and it's just, and I don't even know how that's going to work with GNet once y'all finally get it to where we can farm out via GNet. Because obviously you're not going to be able to pick a car, and through Limo Anywhere you don't do that. I mean, especially when you book through GNet, you just say, they have a mapping system, I guess, and it's generic. It's sedan, SUV, Sprinter, whatever. And so, that's another thing too. We got to be able to, we need to be able to, and I don't know when that's going to come out, but we need to be able to farm out via GNet from Moovs, even to, I know Moovs affiliate to affiliate is perfect, but when you're doing non-Moovs affiliates, for like some of the bigger companies, Boston Coach or AJL in Dallas or Premier in Dallas. I mean, these are some of the big companies that don't even use Moovs, and so in order to farm a run to them, it would be nice that we could do that.
So one last thing I'll show you, Joe, is this is a feature that we're working on for this quarter that's going to be out pretty soon. So you're going to be able to create vehicles with just this much information now, and which will make it a lot easier for all of you to then create those vehicles that you don't own. So that's one of the big features that we're working on that's coming soon is this feature here. Yeah, it's going to be our new, like our biggest update to the system yet. That's going to unlock a lot of things for all of us as operators. So your big problem is you farm out. You don't own a lot of vehicles. That's awesome. We have another operator who owns a lot of vehicles who doesn't farm out. So now they can create fleet and they can have auto availability features on the booking tool so that they don't have to show vehicles that they own to customers that are trying to book them when they're not available. So we have a lot of good things that are in the works with this new feature update that'll unlock a lot of problems for many operators between the concept of fleet and vehicles. So we're super excited about this one.
And in previous webinars, you had mentioned that you were doing something about availability for the, never mind. I think, I think that was an issue. And I think what y'all had said, you can block a vehicle, but then I remember you saying, well, why would you want it blocked? Because you may have another affiliate that has that same vehicle and you may be able to still make that booking, which I do. Like some people book and, I'll go ahead and make it happen, even though it's not my vehicle. So.
What we did to help ours in connection is we did a basic vehicle list that is published that people see through Moovs. So it'd be SUV, this many passengers, SUV extra, the ESV extra large, this many passengers, and sedan. And we just didn't say make, model, nothing on it. And then that's what the people from our affiliates and the others are booking, and from the website are booking. Then we did the actual vehicles that we have, but we didn't publish it where they can see it. So when we are assigning, we can assign that vehicle that we have. Does that make sense?
It does, yes. I'll have to play with it, yeah.
But yeah, what's going to be nice is that in this new update to fleet and vehicles, every operator will be able to now utilize this in a more appropriate way for their business and what they manage and how they want to achieve bookings of farming out, farming in, availability and everything thereafter. So.
Well, on the roadmap, I haven't looked. I'll have to go look. But what is the timeline for that GNet integration to where we can farm out via GNet?
Farm out in GNet, is it? Yeah, we haven't put it on our scheduled, so it wouldn't be there until sometime next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be equivalent to add-ons. Being able to flip that switch to where you can send out to non-affiliate. Yeah. I don't know what cool. I don't know what the whole. I'm not a programmer, so I couldn't tell you what that entails to turn that switch on. So.
Yep. Thanks for bringing it up, Joe. We appreciate it. Yeah, I would just definitely take a look at the roadmap. Upvote it if it's there. I think I always encourage everybody to do that. It always helps understand what are some of the biggest problems that we're solving, and we're hoping to be solving the biggest ones as we release features every 2 weeks. So I lied to everyone. I told myself it was going to be done 30 minutes ago, but conversations were so great I couldn't cut everyone off. So thanks again, everyone, for participating. And we'll be posting the webinar on our Moovs YouTube channel, and we'll see everybody next time. Thank you.